Hello, this is Opinions and Beer. I'm your host, Adam. Today's beer of the day is Rouge Brewing Company's Cold Brew IPA. It's an Indian Pale Ale brewed with coffee, cold brew coffee. You usually see coffee flavors in... Well, I've been seeing them get added in some blondes here and there, but you usually see coffee flavors in stouts and porters. This beer right here is 7.5% in alcohol by volume, has an IBU rating of 82. Now the thing is with Indian Pale Ales, they actually start losing their hoppiness after 3 months. And this, I didn't realize it at the time, but when I bought this beer, it's actually an older beer. It's been sitting on the shelf for quite some time now, and I can only assume that the IBUs aren't as potent, so that 82 IBU isn't going to really show through, and because after so long, the IBUs, the bitterness and stuff, the hops start converting into like a caramel flavor or like more maltiness, and so I'm eager to try it, but I know that it won't taste like it's supposed to be, like how it was intended to taste, and so I'm gonna go ahead and try this beer. And so, yeah, after that initial sip, the hops are not there at all. I mean, it does not taste like an 82 IBU beer. And so, I can't even really give this a proper rating. I feel like some of the coffee notes are there, but it just, due to the age of this beer, I feel like it would be... I feel like the beer would be really good had I had it more fresh, but due to the age of it, I'm just going to have to give this one a pass and hopefully just try it again in the future. But as it stands, like I said, I'm not giving it a rating. But right now, it's really low. I'll tell you that it's kind of low because it just doesn't taste like it's supposed to. But anyways, I have today with me Edray1416.
What's going on?
Nothing much, Edray. Today we have a fun little episode to get through. We missed our Road to Podamania episode 2, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that, do a little bit of Elimination Chamber talk, and just talk about what you've been up to, Edray. You haven't been on a few episodes, so go ahead and let us know. You know what's going on with the Edray report?
Basically, I've been working on blogs and doing my usual YouTube videos. The problem has been for the past couple of days the issue of web hosting, and I've been trying to switch to another web host. That way I could get the site back up and running. It's just frustrating when one host who is offered to host my content for free constantly goes down, either because of legal issues or weather issues, etc. And there was one time when the hosting site went down, and so my site went down because the hosting site decided to upgrade their servers without warning their customers about it. So that really irked me, and because of the whole internet situation with the old host of mine, I decided to switch hosting. And this is not going to be the final time that I switch web hosting, but I hope to get the Edray report back up in time.
How hard was it to switch hosts?
Well, I had to switch name servers, and of course, the host said that they're going to get the site up and running within the next 24 hours, trying to get everything registered.
Have you done any videos recently?
Yeah, I did episode 5 of the Edray report, in which I was talking about how first-time families can save money getting stuff that is not necessarily brand new, but it's still very economical and very durable.
Like how?
Well, for example, if you wanted to go to a department store like JCPenney or something, and you wanted to buy a set of bed sheets, it averages over $75 just to get a brand new set of bed sheets. If you were to go to Walmart, it would cost you about $10 to $15, which I think is still outrageous for a brand new set of sheets or something. And blankets, like getting a blanket at Walmart for $15 to $20, or getting a blanket at JCPenney or so for $80 to $100. I think that's ridiculous for both places to go to just to get brand new blankets.
Right, right. What kind of how expensive are your blankets?
I have not shopped for a blanket for a long time, but the last time I remember, I may have bought a blanket, I want to say 10, maybe 15 years ago for, I want to say $8 to $10.
You cheap ass. You're cheap. You need $100 blanket for Suki smooth skin.
I don't know how anybody could waste grocery money on a single blanket.
It's called warmth. Caveman mind. Warmness.
That's what wood is for.
Morning wood?
You ought to know that.
But, so anyways, Elimination Chamber. Let's go ahead and do Road to Podamania Part 2 within this episode. What are your thoughts on Elimination Chamber? Have you been keeping up?
The Elimination Chamber. I've been keeping up mainly with the women's Elimination Chamber match.
What do you think about it? Who do you think is going to come out on top?
Well, because of this whole Boss and Huck connection thing going way out of whack for the past couple of weeks, I'm going to have to say Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka, because Nia Jax needs her heat.
You think that even though with all the backlash on, there's some mild backlash, there's some media backlash on the fact that they might do a intergender match in WWE, and media outlets are mad at them.
Well, you know, intergender matches have been part of professional wrestling for the past 90 years. I mean, it's normal for a man and a woman to fight, but WWE has been trying so hard to avoid having to do intergender wrestling matches. When I said it's been normal in independent wrestling shows for...
But explain why. You know what? They're avoiding it because it's become a nightmare for them, a PR nightmare for them when they do intergender stuff.
Well, let's take for example, you had wrestling pioneers like Mildred Burke and Mae Young back in the 30s and 40s, wrestling men all the time, and they would always beat men in the matches. I mean, it's normal. It was normal for women to wrestle men and beat them because it was good publicity for the wrestling promotions. And even so, in the past couple of years in independent wrestling promotions, you've seen Ricochet put over female wrestlers. You've seen Chris Hero put over female wrestlers.
I'm not debating that. I'm debating why are mainstream media and critics telling WWE not to do it, and that it's wrong for them to do it.
Because they're afraid that it's going to promote violence between man and a woman, which I think is a crock of crap, if you will, because that's part of wrestling, you know. That's part of any type of wrestling promotion, and for critics to bitch at WWE to tell them no to intergender wrestling when it happened in the Attitude Era. This happened in the Attitude Era, that men and women were wrestling all the time. You take Jeff Jarrett versus Chyna in a household match. Jeff Jarrett, even though he took $300,000 from Vince McMahon to do the job, he did the job to Chyna before leaving the WWE, and that was one of the most talked about intergender wrestling matches. And the fact that these critics are citing that it promotes spousal abuse or whatever, I think is just bogus.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of weird. You know, why would they even promote? Why would they say it promotes spousal abuse?
Because they think that men hitting women in a wrestling match is considered too realistic.
It would influence a man to go hit his wife.
Yeah, which I think is pretty stupid because
my goodness.
Because we've seen, like I said, we've seen men and women wrestle in WWE during the Attitude Era, and of course it happens in independent wrestling all the time, and you don't hear reports about spousal abuse going up because of that. And even so, in the Attitude Era, we never heard any reports of spousal abuse rising.
Yeah. You don't think they might give the Riot Squad that push in the chamber? And have Nia Jax do an intergender match at Mania?
Against Dean Ambrose?
Maybe. Dean Ambrose's last match?
That would be a good last match for Dean Ambrose.
I think that would be a good direction. The Mania match, have an intergender match. I mean, Dean Ambrose versus Nia Jax.
Yeah, what a way for Dean Ambrose to go out.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nuts. You know, it'd be kind of historical, especially with the main event, the closing match at Mania, going to be the triple threat for the women's title.
Yeah, the triple threat that I predicted.
I mean, they could always go back. Apparently, Vince McMahon was, he's thinking about just making it the one-on-one against Becky Lynch and a UFC fighter. And so who knows? They could always change it. But you think it would be better one-on-one, or do they need to make this a triple threat?
I would say it would be better one-on-one with the stipulation of having a cage match or something to increase the level of violence in the match.
Oh, okay. That would be nuts.
Yeah, because I don't want to have a boring, traditional one-on-one main event with Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. I want something brutal.
I feel you. I feel you. That. Well, a triple threat means no DQ, so you could have all kinds of crazy stuff now.
Well, that would be good, but do we really need Charlotte? She's the female Roman Reigns.
I guess we don't need Charlotte, but I guess they just want her in there because the original plan was for it to be Charlotte versus Ronda, but then Becky got injured, and Charlotte had to take her place at that. What match was that? Where was that at?
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series. She took her place in Survivor Series, and so it's kind of like they switched roles. So it's kind of like Becky Lynch wasn't supposed to be in the main event with Ronda. It was supposed to be Charlotte, and Becky was supposed to already have had her one-on-one at Survivor Series. So they're trying to. I guess it's just like it's a weird situation because they didn't know how to handle. Because they still wanted Charlotte in the main event, but it's like she already lost.
Now, speaking of Ronda Rousey, do you think her match with Ruby Riot's going to be any good, or is it going to be a bore fest?
It should be good. Ruby's can be entertaining. You don't think?
Well, I don't know how long the match is going to go on. I don't know if Ruby could make Ronda look good in the match, but we'll find out.
What if they do something weird and make it What if they do something weird and make it Ruby Riot versus Charlotte, and then they for the women's title, and then they still close the show with a non-title match, it being Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey.
That would effectively kill Becky Lynch's push because a lot of people want her to be Raw Women's Champion because it would help boost the ratings on Raw.
You think?
That's what a lot of people are wanting.
And that's a good analysis from you, Edray. Also, we got you think the Miz and Shane McMahon, you think the heel turn is going to happen there? Shane McMahon's heel turn?
Well, I'm hoping it's actually Miz turning heel because Miz is a good heel. He's a terrible babyface.
Or do you think they're going to try to push him? I don't know. I don't know what their angle is with this. Everyone's assuming it's going to be Miz versus Shane at Mania, but they might try to actually push them as a tag team.
Well, I think that'd be stupid because that tag team is going nowhere.
They're champions right now.
Well, they're champions right now, but are they really bringing in the crowds like the Bar did?
I don't know.
They
just won.
Do they have the star power that the New Day has?
I don't know. The Miz is pretty popular. You don't think?
He's a popular heel, but a terrible babyface.
It's good to have heel champions.
Yes, there is. That's why Miz needs to turn heel.
Okay. I see. We got right. Yeah, we already talked about Ronda versus Ruby. Okay, how about Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor?
That's gonna be a bore fest because Bobby Lashley can never make a good match. But I'm good.
What?
Yeah, Bobby Lashley.
He's made good matches before.
Back in his youth, yeah, but he's getting old now.
He made good matches in WWE ECW days. He was like the guy that everyone loved.
Yeah, at the behest of Vince McMahon, however, because back in Elimination Chamber 2006, it was supposed to be CM Punk to win the title. But of course, Vince McMahon overruled Paul Heyman's authority on ECW.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Well, but I mean, just Bobby Lashley's a cool guy. It sucks that they kind of gave him the IC title. I guess it's good to start him somewhere, but I really wanted that Lashley versus Lesnar match.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Brock Lesnar will sign a new contract with WWE, hold the title, and then have him face Lashley at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. But you think Lashley wins, or Finn Balor, they push him?
They're probably going to bury Finn Balor, so I hate to say this, but Lashley's going to win.
Well, I don't know. They showed that Finn Balor could beat the big guy, so they might. I think Finn Balor may win just so they can have the rematch at Mania.
Wait a minute, I thought it was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at Mania.
No. I'm saying Balor versus Lashley rematch.
Oh, okay.
No. There's actually one more. There's one more pay-per-view in between. There's Fastlane. I forgot. Isn't there Fastlane in between?
I think it's in March.
Oh, so we actually have one whole other pay-per-view? That's kind of weird. Because usually there's just like one pay-per-view in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. They usually had that one whole month where there was like no pay-per-views.
I remember a time when there were 2 pay-per-views in October. That was Bragging Rights and Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that it's just kind of weird to have two. I don't know. It's just kind of like, what do you do? You know, there's only so much. What's the matches going to be at Fastlane? Is it going to be just a bunch of Elimination Chamber rematches, but regular matches, or is it going to be a lot of WrestleMania, pre-matches?
There could be a lot of WrestleMania pre-matches, and of course the Elimination Chamber matches.
And then you got Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin, which sucks because it's like, why even Braun Strowman should be doing something bigger.
They're burying Braun at this point.
Braun should at least get he should become tag team champions with Kurt Angle.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
You don't think that could work?
No, because how are you going to get Kurt Angle to carry a match when Braun Strowman don't know how to carry a match?
What are you talking about?
Braun Strowman can't wrestle, and Kurt Angle is past his prime.
Why would you say Braun Strowman can't wrestle?
Because he couldn't beat Brock Lesnar.
Oh my God. You're ridiculous. You're the most ridiculous person I've ever seen. So ridiculous. Well, anyways, that's our Road to Podamania Part 2, talking about Elimination Chamber. We're going to go ahead and move on to Commercial Reacts. Now, speaking of wrestling, I wanted to keep this wrestling themed. Elimination Chamber around the corner. We got some commercials featuring wrestlers. And we're going to talk about these commercials. We're going to watch them, talk about them, and see what happens. You ready, Edray?
Let's do this.
Okay.
Come on, you guys. It's only a little. A hungry giant.
Hungry for a big honey taste.
Big taste. Honeycomb. Big taste. Honeycomb big. Yeah.
It's not small.
No. Honeycomb's got a big honey taste. Big crunch. Big bite. Honeycomb cereal. Part of this big complete breakfast.
What do you think about that commercial?
It's pretty cringy to see Andre in his condition do a commercial like
Look how
that.
huge he is. He's as big as the tree.
Yeah, but it's just cringy because if Andre was in his prime, then that commercial would have been a hell of a lot more entertaining.
He was cool though. I mean, he's honeycomb commercial with Andre. He's scaring the little kids and eating their honeycomb.
Yeah, I thought that was a good marketing tactic, but I don't find it entertaining.
I can't believe. It's just funny to think that Andre was doing commercials in movies.
Well, he had to because his wrestling career was winding down and he had to make money other ways.
I see what you're saying. Next up.
Frank on how to remind your parents that now Tuesday is Kids Night at Pizza Hut. Try serenading.
Tuesday night.
Kids Night.
Tuesday night.
Try the old codfish trick. Hire professional help.
Tuesday night, kids' night. Take 'em.
You can't miss Kids Night at Pizza Hut. You get free Nickelodeon magazines and free personal.
So who was that?
That was Demolition, the rip-offs of the Road Warriors.
The rip-offs? What are they doing in the Pizza Hut commercial?
Well, obviously they needed the money because they weren't getting paid in WWE.
What's some good Demolition facts you can give us?
Well, for one, they had a different finisher. They had a back-breaking elbow combination rather than the Doomsday device. That's one. The other is that they had a tremendous feud with Andre the Giant and Haku during WrestleMania 6, which would ultimately see a change in the scene with Andre the Giant. But they were good tag team champions. They were Originally the longest tag team champions up until the New Day broke the record.
Oh, Demolition was?
Yeah, they had the tag team championships for about 400 days or so.
Oh, wow. Were they like, was that just on accident? Like they just forgot about the tag team titles, or is it? Or
Well, they were booked because they were hugely over as a tag team, and then when the Brainbusters came in, that was it.
okay, so they were just like they were just over.
Yeah, they were over
They
as
were
Road
like-
Warrior ripoffs.
Road Warrior ripoff. Did they ever face the Road Warriors?
Yes, they did, and they got squashed for it.
Where was this? Was this in WWE?
I think this was in 1990, maybe 91.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I want to see that match. Moving on. Now this one's probably the most famous wrestling commercial.
Boring. Well, so how many high school boys does it take to change a light bulb?
Wanna light up your life? Yeah! With a Slim Jim.
Holy shit! He just murdered that guy.
Turn to the spice.
He's like getting electrocuted.
Baby, juice is taste.
Oh my goodness.
Need a little excitement? Snap it to a Slim Jim.
What do you think about the slap into the Slim Jim commercial campaign?
Snap into a Slim Jim?
Yeah.
That was the best because that made Macho Man more money in those commercials than his entire 40 years in the wrestling business.
Did it really? I mean, it's iconic to fucking Slim Jim.
Yeah, and that was the reason why Macho Man got blacklisted from the WWE, because he took the Slim Jim deal from the WWE. He took the Slim Jim deal with him to WCW, and the rest was history.
Slap her to a Slim Jim. He busts through the sky roof and electrocutes an old man, and he's like, yeah, eat the Slim Jim for the kids. Is there a Slim Jim commercial that you remember more than that one?
Beef, spice, beef, spice. Urgh! Snap into a Slim Jim. This was back when Macho Man was in a straitjacket thinking about Slim Jim.
Oh, really? Macho Man was great, man. It's so sad to think that he's gone. And
Yeah, I blame Hogan for it.
what? Jesus, you can't just drop controversial shit like that. But you blame Hogan? Why do you blame Hogan?
Because Hogan stressed out the Macho Man to the point where he had a heart attack.
Oh, okay. I'll believe you for this one time. This one time, I'll listen to you and believe you. And but yeah, Slim Jim. That's like, it's just so iconic, and it's just great. Next up,
Stone Cold Steve Austin for 1-800-COLLECT. I'm not talking to you. What did I do? You're so insensitive.
you're so insensitive.
Dial 0 when you called me last night. Should have dialed 1-800-COLLECT. Would have saved me a bundle. How do you think it makes me feel? Next time I use 1-800-COLLECT. I didn't mean to hurt you. Me neither. Dial
Jesus.
1-800-COLLECT or else.
That puts Cesaro to shame. That move put Cesaro to shame. He did the ultimate. What do you think about the AT&T? So that was an AT&T commercial featuring Stone Cold Steve Austin versus D'Lo Brown. Is that Stone Cold, or is that Stunning Steve at the time? Because he seemed to be very you missed my call last night. Oh, it hurt my feelings.
It kind of sounded like Stunning Steve more than Stone Cold Steve Austin was. But that giant swing, I mean, Stone Cold was so strong back then, he could have giant swinged the Big Show back in 99.
Whatever, shut up. You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I've yet to see Cesaro giant swing the Big Show.
Oh, okay. Did he giant swing Great Khali, though?
He also giant swinged Brodus Clay, but I've never seen him giant swing Mark Henry nor the Big Show.
Okay. What do you think about this D'Lo Brown Stone Cold commercial?
I think the acting could have been a whole lot better than that.
He's like, when you called me last night, you didn't call Zero. Stone Cold. Oh man, I wonder we would have never done a commercial like this during his badass, rattlesnake era. So this isn't Rattlesnake.
which I think made the commercial a little bit of a bore, except for the end.
You didn't call me last night. AT&T. That shit's funny. That shit's funny. So we got one more here. One more here. Let's turn the volume up.
Hey, Triple H! I got your game right here!
What's going on?
Oh, run!
Oh shit, he's being chased by bees. Or something. Wasp. Oh!
You want to play the game? You gotta feel the sting. For an extreme boost of energy and 3 great flavors, you've gotta feel the sting.
So that's for Stinger, I guess, energy drink. That featured Triple H. I guess some kid, some teenager was talking garbage, spat at the TV, and then a swarm of wasps came out of the spit and started chasing him. And then somehow Triple H has a portal that he can portal in front of people, and he portaled in front of the skateboarding kid and clotheslined him off the skateboard, and then you want to play the game, you gotta take the sting or some shit. What do you think about that? Have you even seen that energy drink?
Probably not.
What is that kind of silly?
Would have been better if they used Scorpions, number 1, and then number 2 had Sting in the commercial saying, feel the sting.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, that was a wasted opportunity by Stecker, too, to use Triple H instead of Sting.
Wait, who?
Stecker.
Who's that?
I think that's the company that made the Stinger drink.
Do you know anything about it?
Well, Stecker, too, used to start off as a pill industry where you took the pill and lost some weight.
Oh, really? That's interesting. So it was basically it was like a weight loss thing, and they had made an energy drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen this at all. I was trying to Google and search for it, and I think they might sell it at some pharmacy still in like little tiny bottles, like that you would get the 5-hour energy shots or something.
Yeah, that's the name of the game for them.
What do you think about when you see wrestlers in commercials? Do you ever feel like you need to buy this stuff?
No.
What? You didn't see that and want to buy some Stinger?
Why would I want to buy something that would drive me nuts?
Because Triple H told you to.
I wouldn't do it if Sting told me to.
What? Edray. That's just your opinion. And that's fine. Because this is Opinions and Beer. Opinions and beer. Opinions and beer. Can't go wrong with opinions and beer. Opinions and beer. Opinions and beer. Cause all we got here are opinions and beer.